Knicks fan, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And, yep, there it is. The Knicks embarrassed in Toronto. And I mean embarrassed. You know, it was sloppy game from the Knicks, of course. But, look, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. You know, right now. Let's go. All right, folks, we got a video chat building up right now. We got Nate in the video chat. We got a new guy in the chat that I haven't seen before. We got Guermo in the video chat. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get talking. I don't know how much there is to talk about tonight. Honestly, I'm just being real with you guys. I don't know how much there is to talk about. We just got smacked. You know, I asked the question last night, can the Knicks pull off an upset? Clear no. A clear no. Pretty bad. You know what I mean? But it's all good. It's all good. You know what I mean? You know, you follow a nice victory. I mean, the Lakers are a team that's a mess. But still, it was a good victory. It was fun to get a victory. Follow a nice victory with a blowout loss. You know, it is what it is. The rest of the month is going to be a bruiser anyway. So, you know, get used to it, Knicks fans. And maybe we'll pull off an upset here or there. I'm not entirely just mad because the Raptors, you can see the way they play. They're fast, they're strong, they got depth, they got players up the wazoo. You know what I mean? Just on a different level than us. A total different level. But let's get to our video chat and talk a little bit. We'll get these guys' perception of the game and you know, we'll get a chance to talk a little bit about NBA draft and I mean, yeah, you know, the draft and March Madness. We're going to talk about everything for a little bit. All right. I'm not going to be on super duper late, though. I was on super duper late last night. I'm not going to be on super duper late tonight. It's just not a lot to talk about with this game. There's not that much we can talk about. All right. So let's get with our video chat. See what these guys got to say here. You see Nate. You see Guermo. You see new guy. I always love it when new guys join the chat. You know, it's a great thing when new guys join the chat. You know, it's funny. And then here comes Isaiah into the chat. Music and sound in the background, all of that. Typical Isaiah. You know how it is. But I love it when new guys join the video chat because everybody that's new when they join the video chat, they're so confused from the beginning. You know, it's like, what the hell is going on here? They don't know what to do. And, I mean, I had a couple people join the video chat, and they've never come back again because they're like, that's just too confusing. I don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? It takes a little time to get used to. It does. It takes a little time to get used to. But I think my man, he looks like the kind of guy that's going to stick it out. And he's going to learn how to use the video chat, and then we're going to be on and popping. Right? So let's get going, man. Let's, we're going to start up. Let's start off with Guermo. So start off with Guermo, man. Guermo, what's good, man?
Yo, Sim, we got a lot to talk about tonight, man.
We do have a lot.
Outside this Raptors game, I mean, it was pathetic. But I called it yesterday. I said we were yesterday was our championship. The thing I want to talk about is the disrespect that these bum A dudes in the NBA, like Steven Jackson and Knick, all these bums in the NBA, they want to open their mouths to talk about Walt Clyde Frazier. And Walt Clyde Frazier has been echoing what basically a lot of people, us so-called fans who support these idiots and watch their stupid shows, what we've been saying. Yeah, this guy, LeBron James, and it wasn't just that. There was another sequence during the game where they had a timeout and he stood away from the coach again. You marginalize the coach. You make it harder. First of all, you made it so that people distance themselves. Now you cause a division in the locker room. People who now want to hate Luke Walton, people don't want to listen to Luke Walton now versus those who want to listen. And thankfully enough, because he tried to get his whole team traded, I bet you a majority of those guys in that team are rolling with Lou Walton, at least until this guy gets fired over LeBron James, knowing how much of a scum this dude is, regardless of what's saying. I have to hear Steven Jackson, this dude Steven Jackson and Chris Carter, who literally cannot get his thoughts together because he has, no offense, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody who has this. He needs to handle his CTE because he loses his mind and he starts rambling about absolutely nothing. They want to sit here and talk about Walt Clyde Frazier's mustache, his suit, and his corpse, and talking about, if you want to say he's a Hall of Famer, Walt Clyde Frazier is a damn Hall of Famer. Steven Jackson, you were even an all-star, my dude. Chris Carter, you a drug addict on the Eagles. This guy, Walt Clyde Frazier, has been clean his whole life. His mustache got him endorsements. His suit got him a big personality. He has his own Instagram page, and everybody knows Walt Clyde Frazier by his quirks and his quips. Now, you go to a young dude who watches basketball, ask him if they know Walt Clyde Frazier, and ask them if they know Steven Jackson. I put money on it. Most of these people know Walt Clyde Frazier. So these idiots that talk, they need to put respect on Walt Clyde Frazier's name. Steven Jackson, you're only known for malice in the palace and getting traded from team to team and playing in a big three and trying to be a tough guy. You're nobody. And Chris Carter, you're a bum. You and Nick Wright, at least Nick Wright was respectful, but I don't like this disrespect that people have for Walt Clyde Frazier because he said the same thing about KD. Well, everybody feels that KD is not going to be regarded as one of the top because he went to another team. He's still a great player, but he's not going to be regarded as a top 5 GOAT conversation because you went to a team where it was easy for you and they just beat you, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, the Raptors game we could talk about, but I just wanted to ish on Steven Jackson because he's a bum. I'm not trying to be meaner. He was a solid player, but don't talk about a Hall of Famer like that when he's speaking truth, man.
I feel you. I definitely feel
bums,
you.
Man.
Hey, you know what? So, sometimes you just gotta wonder: does LeBron James own stock in ESPN?
He pays the. I mean, come on, he pays them. He pays you. You're gonna sit and tell me you got these guys who are going on TV. Sim, I've never seen this in my life with Jordan, right? I've never seen individual personalities go out and ride for Jordan, except for at the very most you can say was Ahmad Rashad because he used to interview him all the time. But even Ahmad Rashad wasn't riding on his you-know-what like that. Nick Wright. Literally, Sim, this guy can do no. LeBron James could do no wrong. When he went up with that fake casting, they gave excuses for him. When he can't in a clutch, they make excuses for him. When his teammates want to leave him, they make excuses for him. I've never seen this. You have Nick Wright. You have Shannon Sharpe is a 50-some-year-old man riding on another man's. Excuse my line. I ain't gonna curse. This dude's riding on another man so hard. I've never seen somebody like this. Is a grown-a man. And mind you, when Antonio Brown caught Shannon Sharpe or Kuhn or whatever you called him on that show, LeBron James didn't even stick up for him. And Shannon Sharpe is still riding this dude. Like, dude, clutch sports, I give it to LeBron. This dude is Machiavellian to a T. He is paying these guys in the media to sit there and create lies and create narratives for him and make every excuse in the book for him, Sim. Every excuse, man. I'm sorry. I just have to rant because it's too much, bro. Whatever, man. Steven Jackson, just shut up, bro. You a bum. You are not. Do not talk about Walt Clyde Frazier. Walt Clyde Frazier is one of the top point guards of all time, both defensively and offensively. And when he said, "Oh, he's not a Chris Carter said he's not a Hall of Fame commentator." Do you actually listen to Walt Clyde Frazier? He breaks down the game better than most of you guys on TV. There's only him, JVG, and Mark Jackson I really respect like that when they talk about the game, man. Stop, bro. Stop.
I hear you, man. Guillermo had to get it off his chest. We were definitely going to talk about it, but we got to it right from the outset. That's cool. It's all right. It's good. I feel you, man. Had to get it off your chest. I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat agrees with you.
I've never seen bronzesexuals, man. The bronzesexuals is heavy. So I've never. Even Kobe fans weren't this bad, man. Jordan fans ain't this bad. LeBron James fans in the media, grown men. Nah, bro. When I heard Chris Carter try to say, "Oh, he's not a Hall of Famer commentator. He might be a Hall of Fame player." Like, bro, you are a crackhead on the Eagles. You, honest to God, only got to the Hall of Fame because of Randy Moss and that team they had in Minnesota. Like, bro, you were on the. And it's funny. These guys in the media, the ones who are the worst players, the worst characters in the game, they're the most preachiest. Like, I gotta hear him. At least Charles Barkley will talk about LeBron James, but Chris Carter, come on, son, stop, bro, stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ranting. Please go to someone else because I could go on for hours, man.
In on this topic.
I'm sorry, man.
Go ahead, Isaiah.
Hey, what's going on, Sam, man? I just want to shout out to Eddie. That's my new guy, man. Shout out to that's Ebro in the morning right there. Ebro in the morning. Ebro. But, what Guillermo was saying. I mean, Sim. I mean, it gets to a point where watching ESPN is by far the hardest thing to do. because they will talk about LeBron. Okay, so I'll give you an example today, right? They didn't mention how a young 13-win Knicks team with all young guys beat the Lakers. No, they talked about Walt Clyde Frazier and LeBron. It's so. I'm actually happy LeBron's not in the playoffs because we don't have to talk about him and we don't have to talk about. I'll say it's so much because it's LeBron, but it's like we wouldn't be talking about the Lakers if LeBron wasn't on the Lakers, and it's just like the way people. I mean, listening to Nick Wright, listening to Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman is by far. I wholeheartedly do not understand why he has a job at ESPN. I'm not even trying to diss a man for working, but the way he talks about LeBron and the Lakers, it's so funny. He's cheap because he went from being a Knicks fan to a Lakers fan and they're not making the playoffs. The way he talks about LeBron, him and Nick Wright, I don't know who's worse. Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp, and Max Kellerman are the three worst people I hear talk about LeBron. He can kill somebody in front of everybody in the world, and everybody would defend him and say Michael Jordan would never. Is just still not better than him. It's crazy. I don't understand what he has with ESPN. I don't get it, and it's crazy because it's so funny when a commentator goes against the grain and talks about him. Like, for example, when Jeff Van Gundy talked about it, trading him. Mm-hmm. Everybody tried to hang Jeff Van Gundy and said he was crazy for even thinking it. When in real express in basketball ways, you should think about it because he's turning 35 and you could actually still get maybe 2 first-round picks for him. It's just people kill people when they go against the grain when it's against LeBron. Like it's so funny. LeBron stopped playing defense 2-3 years ago, and now they're just talking about it because it's been so painfully obvious that he stopped playing defense. But he stopped playing defense 2016. He stopped playing defense really, and people haven't noticed it because it's LeBron and he puts up. Okay.
I mean, it's just let's look. You know, let's talk about we can get back to it. We'll get back to it, but let's talk about the Knicks. All right, we'll get back to it for those who joined the show late, right? Because right now, you know, everybody's not here yet. So for those who joined the show late, we'll definitely get back to this topic. But let's talk about the Knicks. All right, and then we'll swing back around and we'll let Guillermo go on another rant. All right.
I'm sorry.
Nah, that's cool. It's good. We'll swing back around. We'll let Guillermo go on another rant. But let's talk about the Knicks. All right. What you think about the Knicks game? I don't know. It's not even that much that we could talk about, but.
Wait, are you talking to who? Are you talking to?
Both of you. Both of you guys are on.
You go ahead, Isaiah.
The Knicks game. I mean, I'll say I think they were high off the Lakers game last night. It was a back-to-back. It was just on all cylinders. Nobody played well. Very, very crappy defense. It's been like this all season. I haven't seen any change since the beginning of the season. Nobody played good. Bad coaching. To me, this was just a generic taking team lose game. They played a really great game last night, and they just didn't have anything left after last night because I think last night was a little bit emotional. So I do think they just gave everything. They gave everything they had, and just tonight they didn't have it. It's the NBA.
Hey, Sim, you know what I'm scared about? I think we talked about, on Friday, right? Someone mentioned that they were at the Spurs game that we played and that Moutier and Trier got into a fight. Yeah. And this is a thing that and people here, y'all want to talk about, let the kids play, whatever, which I wholeheartedly disagree with. And I think that we're starting to see a manifestation of that, where I think that now you have a bunch of guards. You got Moutier and you got Trier, who are literally just looking to score and fill up numbers because they think that's what Fizdale wants, right? Guys who can just go up and score. Not necessarily Ron Maurice, just guys go up and score. Now you have a guy who's impressionable like Trier. You know, a good coach. A veteran, the top coaches would take a guy like Trier and not necessarily push him to his strengths, but work on his weaknesses, which is awareness, keeping up your dribble, setting up your man, things of that nature. And when I watch these games, it's like I see empty. They're largely empty stats. Don't get me wrong. Look, Trier's having a decent year if you just looked at it in a vacuum, but it's not leading to wins. It's not leading to getting guys involved in the game. And hearing about him and Moutier fighting is just the epitome of the lack of coaching that we have in this team. And I understand, look, I'm not asking to fire Fizdale, but like I said, I'd rather have a system. Well, I don't even agree with Fizdale's ball guard heavy system, but if Trier is fighting with guys on the team, it just seems to, and he's not getting remanded for scoring 22 points, but not necessarily being efficient or being smart with his decisions. You know, that can cause some angst on the team. Now guys are looking at like, oh, he has favorites on the team. He wants guys to play a certain way. And I know we talk about the Frank thing, but you know, when you look at it, it's like, all right, if I'm not a person like Trier, but I can contribute other ways, how would this coach see my value? So you're going to have a lot of angst on the team, where especially the young players who are trying to find themselves and they're looking for coaching to make them better or to at least show them and guide them how to play on this team. And I just think that Trier is the epitome of what the lack of guidance that Fizdale's putting on these young kids, man.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Trier. I see, if you've paid attention the past few games, if you take that fan, the guy who said he was at the San Antonio game, if you take what he says and you believe what he says, which I do, I have no reason to discredit him or discount him. You take that at face value. And then you look tonight, you've seen him screaming at Knox a few times, and it could have been totally Knox's fault. I think Knox was supposed to run baseline, and he didn't run baseline, and Trier was hollering at him to run baseline. And I've seen a couple other times, where he's barking at players. So I guess the question is he trying to be a leader? Is he frustrated because guys maybe aren't doing what Coach Fizdale is asking? It's hard to say without being in the locker room, whether or not it's true,
Sim,
or if it's the fact that he's frustrated because Fizdale Fizdale saying this is what I want to be done. Guys aren't doing it, so he's frustrated. It's hard to say.
Yeah, but this thing is, Sim, as a coach, the best coaches adjust, right? If you talk about guys like Bill Belichick, Popovich, you go just on the line, Madden from the Cubs, you look at the greatest coaches, right? Mm-hmm. And what they do is that they take the players they have. And I understand that we're so-called tanking, right? Which it makes me want to throw up. I just hate it. But the best coaches take what they have and make the best gumbo with what they have. And if you have guys, Einstein said it best, right? I'm not going to quote it exactly, but it's like if you are trying to explain something and it's too difficult for you to explain, maybe you don't understand it. So I think Fizdale has to go back to his own drawing board and see, all right, does the system actually make sense? And I don't think it does. If you look around the league, all the ball guard dominant teams are not doing too well, or they're not slated to win the championship. They're not the so-called looking like they're going to be the best teams. And I think if you're talking to a bunch of young, impressionable guys, it has to come from the team if he's doing that. Because what we know, he's probably just tanking. He's probably telling, oh, yeah, go out and do whatever. He's probably not saying those words, but he's not really coaching these guys up. If he is trying to coach these guys up and is not failing, he has to go back to drawing board and see, what is it? Is it the psychology? You talk about the kill what you eat thing, but you're inconsistent in that. So are guys kind of tuning you out now? Are you favoring certain guys like Trier, Moutier, whatever, blah, blah, and they see how you treat Frank, even though Frank was playing, good defensively, whatever. I'm not trying to go back to Frank or whatever. So you have to go back to drawing board and say, all right, maybe I need to stop being a salesman and be a better coach. Is it psychology? Greg Popovich is great with that. Is it regiments? Pat Riley and Spoelstra are great with that. So he has to go back to the drawing board and see what he can fix with his coach. You never can say you could give up. Because if Fizdale leaves and another coach comes in here and he get these guys to play better, obviously there'll be stars here, whatever, but he get guys' efficiency numbers up and their contributions team, up with only two so-called max players, that's going to look bad on him. I'm sorry. Look what happened with the Grizzlies. He had a stacked team, and yes, they won like 56 games, whatever, but they valued it where it's like, we don't really need you here anymore. We'd rather have, the so-called statisticians or advanced metrics guys over you, and that says a lot. You never do that to Popovich. You wouldn't fire him for, advanced analytics guys, right? You wouldn't do that to Belichick, right? Because those guys are great coaches. I think Fizzle has to go back to a drawing board, man.
Can Eddie talk? I know Eddie wanted to talk.
Eddie, I'm my bad, man. Sorry about that.
I'm going to get around. I'm going to open up.
Sorry, Eddie.
Unmute Nate, and I'm going to unmute Eddie. All right, go ahead, guys, if you want to join in here.
I mean, the thing about Trier, and I've been saying this for a while since we gave him that contract. He's an ISO player, and he's not Harden, he's not Westbrook, he's not even Oladipo, but he thinks in his mind he is, because he loves to have the ball in his hands. And the thing about it is, this guy is undrafted. He should be as humble as possible, but in my mind, I think he's just too cocky. I think he thinks he's better than he actually is. And the thing about it is, yeah, he had a good start to the season, but the truth is the NBA figured him out. Scouting, they started watching him on the ISO plays. They started getting to force more turnovers. It wasn't coming as easy. And the truth is that, that's what happens when you're in the NBA. You unless you have a game that can get better throughout the years, if you're like a Jeremy Lin, the NBA figured out Jeremy Lin too, and it's a great story, but the truth is, unless you refine your game, the same stuff's not going to work. People watch scouting reports.
Oh yeah, you refine your game, you change your game, you develop and grow your game in the off season. So we at least got to give him the off season to be able to adjust to. It's going to be hard for him to, if he doesn't have it in his skill set. It's going to be hard for him to adjust what NBA defenses are doing against him if he hasn't had an off season to develop it. You do some things, but you really need that off season to work on the way that you can adjust.
Yeah, and in his mind, he thinks he can get to the cup every time, and that's just not the case all the time. He turns over the ball a lot more than he did, in the beginning, because maybe defenders didn't, get on him so quickly. Now they're on him a lot, and they're forcing him into taking crazy shots, and he's not willing to pass. So a lot of times it's a bad shot, which is in coaching a turnover. So I mean, the guy is turning over the ball left and right. And so he's got to work on passing the ball or taking his time, or just get the ball out of your hands.
Yeah.
Somebody's tired.
Eddie, go ahead. I know you wanted to join in here. What's up?
I want to go back to what Guillermo was saying. I just want to point something out that we have basically a rookie coach, so you got to give the guy time. He was in Memphis half a year. He was an assistant for, I don't know, maybe 8-9 years. But you reeled off like 3-4 Hall of Fame coaches, man, that's been in the league for like 10-12 years. So I just want to say, give him some time. He's going to make mistakes, but we got to give him time, man. And I think he's trying the best with our young players. He's trying to give them confidence. He's trying to help them out. He did a great job with Moutier this year. Mitchell's coming along just fine. Trier's been doing much better. I mean, that's all I want to say about that. When we're talking about Trier, I think we got to give him time too, man. These are rookies. These dudes just got into the league. He's 23, and he's a little bit older than the other rooks. So maybe he is trying to be a leader, and maybe coach is telling him be a leader. So, those are just the 2 points that I wanted to point out to you guys.
Well, I'll say this, man. I never said I have to keep correcting myself and saying that I don't want these guys to be fired. Oh, my bad. I'm not calling for Fizzo to be fired. I'm just pointing out things that I see that are inconsistent or can lead to issues with the team, right? I mean, Vivek just pointed out a great stat in the chat room. We only cut on 4.3% of our possessions, which is the worst in the NBA. Right, and I think that with those possessions, that's not even if the basket is made or not or whatever. That's just, we just don't do that. So, and yes, he's been an assistant for 9 years or whatever, and he had the 1 year with the Grizzlies. And I understand taking time and giving him time, but when you have guys fighting in the game, especially a rookie, right? I think the biggest mistake is that we depended on Trier too much, and we allowed him to play his game without really trying to challenge it. I mean, I understand he tried to be a point guard that nature, but we're depending on that, and it's like that. I think that's getting in his head now. You talk about eat what you kill, and you sat down, what's his boy's name, Frank, because Frank was being aggressive. Well, do you sit down guys because they're not passing the ball or facilitating when they're supposed to, or they're not looking up for guys? Do you do those things if they're being lazy on defense, like Moutier or Knox? Are you there to teach these guys a lesson? Right? He said he's not going to sit you down if you make a technical mistake, but if you make an effort mistake, he's going to do that. Well, I've seen poor effort from a bunch of guys in his team, but the consequences are inconsistent. So those are things I get on. I'm not saying that we should sit here and fire this guy, but it's like when you have a coach, even if the coach is trying to implement something and you see it failing, like even, and I'm not trying to compare him to a great coach and say he should be that, but when I look at those coaches, I'm taking little tidbits that I see that make them so effective, like little things that use like, damn, that's why that guy's effective, or that's why that guy's effective.
Belichick wasn't that effective.
I don't see it with
Belichick wasn't that effective when he was with the Cleveland Browns.
Well,
actually, Belichick was his last year. Go back to his
Eddie,
the year before last. He actually was. If you go back to I think the year before last, before they left Cleveland, Belichick was. But you can also see in Belichick his scouting, how he had analyzed players. All those things were good. It's just that Cleveland was kind of an ish show. But I think he got them to the playoffs the year before they left Cleveland. So yes, Belichick was actually showing signs of it. And yes, you're not going to get success right away. But what I'm saying is that you allow the guys to run chaotically, man. If I see a guy like Trier, bro, if I see a freshman, if I see a rookie like Trier fighting with people, blah blah blah, right? I'm not going to allow him to just play because that gives in his head that what he's doing is okay. I got to sit him down, especially if you're doing that to veterans. Like, say what you want about Moutier, but Moutier is a veteran compared to Trier.
Sometimes it doesn't even matter if you're a rookie. It's just your temperament. It's just who you are.
Yeah, so you got to control it.
You could be a 5-year veteran. Some 10-year veterans don't even speak. So, I just think that's just who he is.
That Trier is sitting here, and I like Trier's talent, but the guy is – but the guy is. I think about it, I don't like the fact that it seems like he's beefing with people. If you take what the guy from San Antonio, whoever went to the San Antonio game, if that's true, what happened, I don't like it because you saw with Tim Hardaway. Even though I probably take Trier's side. No, actually I do. I take Hardaway because he didn't pass it to Hardaway, and Hardaway was open. And
I remember that play.
So it's like things like that. It's like if you're gonna sit down Frank for not being aggressive, which I agree with, then you got to sit down Trier for the same things. Like, hey, bro. 3-on-1, don't look to just try to lay up the ball and get yours. You have two other guys flanking on your sides. Be a more facilitator. Look for your guys. Get your guys open. Be aware on the court. If you're playing poor defense, Moutier, you need to sit down because of that. So it's not. I'm not trying to get on physical like he should be fired, but come on, man. He has to correct some of these things, man.
I'm gonna tell you where I really do agree with you because I've been saying it for since who knows. I really do not like the fact that he just threw the ball out there and just let these guys go for broke without putting anything in place to say, here's your guidelines. At least give them some guidelines, right? Something to play by. I really don't like that you just throw them out there because it does breed these type of things because
bad habits.
Right. And what happens, and so many people, I know we talk about this a lot. And so many people, want to say, well, he wanted to see what they had first. I just think that's a crock of bull. You know what I mean? I really do. I want to see what they had first. I just don't think that's not how you build, how you start to build an identity. You know what I mean?
Sim, can I say something real quick, Sim?
Yeah, 1 second. When you're building an identity, you have an idea of what you're gonna do first. It's like I brought up this scenario before about building a house. You don't start with the roof because if you start with the roof and then you start and then you try to put in the beams, your roof is gonna be shaky, right? So you don't start with the stars, right? You start with your foundation first.
Exactly.
Right? You start with the foundation. That way, when you put your beams in, your beams are secure. And then when you get to the top and you put the roof on, everything is secure. Everything is, you have a basis to stand on. And if you have to tear it down, you still got a base there. Right? Because you have
building a house.
You have your basic fundamentals. You have your basic philosophy. You have your basic style. You know what it is that you're building on. I don't think we know what we're building on. You know what I mean? We don't. And I think that, from the beginning, we really needed to establish those type of things. We needed to establish our philosophy, establish who we are, and identity of what this team is going to be, regardless of who the players are. And people will say, I know people will say, and I can't really see the chat right now because I have something up on my screen, but people will say, well, you need to know what kind of players you have to build your structure. I disagree.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Regardless of the type of players you have. Okay, I'll put it like this. For all those who have children, do you wait until your child is born and 5 years old to see his or her personality to decide how you're going to raise the child? Or do you say, here's the traditions of my family, here's the type of, this is what I want my child to be, right? I want my child to have this type of character. So I'm going to put these type of rules in place to help foster my child growing. Now, when my child turns 5, 6, 7 years old and they start to develop a personality and an identity, then I can start to change around some of the philosophy of my family and traditions to fit my child's personality, right? You start off, you know the things that you want to teach your child growing up. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to tell your child you're going to be a doctor and they're a doctor, or you're going to be a lawyer. I'm not saying that. But you know some basic fundamentals that you want to teach your child, right? You want to teach your child how to be, maybe, to have good character, not to steal, not to murder, not to cheat, right? You want to teach these basic fundamentals of morality in life to your child. And as they grow older and they develop a personality, you say, okay, you know what? My child likes to play basketball. My child likes to play the piano. She likes to dance, or whatever it is. And you start to mold your life around what the child likes to do. But they have these basic tenets of life that you've taught from a young age. It's the same thing with a basketball team. You have basic tenets that you teach as far as how you play the game, how you approach the basketball game, things you want to do on offense, things you want to do on defense. And then you start to adjust it to, you see certain things that players can and cannot do, and you start to adjust it. That's why I think, Guillermo, what you're saying. We didn't start with that.
We said that. Oh, I'm sorry, Isaiah. My bad. Go.
Yeah, we said it a long time ago. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Well, no, Sim. That's why you're on the chat. You're one of the smartest people when it comes to basketball. And I blatantly remember, Sim, back in, I believe it was November or early December, we all talked about when Fizz made those comments about letting the kids just play, how we said that wasn't good. A few of us, I remember it was Gamble, me, I believe Viv, and everything, and everybody was, and people in the comments talking about, oh no, you're supposed to let them play out. People was criticizing us for saying that because, for some reason they just like, oh, give them a chance. It's not about not giving them a chance. Like I've said it multiple times. Coming into the season, it wasn't about wins and losses. It wasn't about the stats. It wasn't about the generic stuff for a coach. This was a season for him to establish a system, establish an identity, establish the way we want to play. And I mean, Sim, we can be honest. We can ask everybody in this chat, what is our identity? And nobody will have a clue of what it is.
Give up a lot of points.
I tell you what, the only identity.
What was Philadelphia's identity when they started doing the process? I just feel like sometimes we go 100 miles an hour. And we don't
being 100 miles an hour, Eddie. It's not about being 100 miles an hour. It's about establishing
I get that. No, I agree. I agree with that. That I do not disagree with. But I just feel like we do that. We go 100 miles an hour. One person that I do agree that he hasn't done the best job with is Ntilikina. I'm a big Ntilikina fan, and I think he's botched that.
Too, Eddie.
Nobody knows that.
I think he's
but Eddie,
and I think that's the problem. He's kind of like an enigma. But I think he's kind of botched that, and I'm just a huge Ntilikina fan. But those are the, those are just my points.
Eddie, your 76ers point, right? But your 76ers point, right? He got very lucky, Sam Hinkie, because they were just tanking to the point that the NBA got note of it. You know who also basically tried to do the same thing? The Suns. And they are not basically the opposite of the 76ers. The 76ers got very fortunate. Embiid's healthy, and they got Simmons. Like, to sit here and say, there are a lot of teams who try to tank, and they suck. The Kings, until they got De'Aaron Fox, they've been doing the same. They've been sucking since 2002, 2003, when they had Chris Webber and whatever, right? So, people try to sit here. The thing about it is, look, I'm not saying that we have to be. I didn't expect us to be. I said at best we'd be a 30-something. If God loves us, a 40-something win team. I was probably saying that.
No, man.
I was saying that facetious. I was saying at the very best. If we had like the best, you know what I mean? But I'm looking at this team, and it's like, I don't even care about the wins and losses, right? If we had a team that we were literally trying to follow a system, right? In my preferred system, off ball, we don't do it, right? But say we had a system where we were running off ball. If it just put up the stat, 4.3% of our possessions, we run off ball 4.3% of our possessions, which is worse than NBA. You go to a team like the Warriors, I'm pretty sure it's up there, right? So if we had a team that we're trying to play no positionless basketball, blah, blah, play off ball, right? You would see that system, right? Even if we were missing shots, then it's like, all right, we know that, say, Dotson or Moutier doesn't fit that system. So next year, we don't need him. We're going to go out and get a guy who can shoot 45% from off balls, or 50% from curls, or 40% from open threes after running through whatever screens, blah, blah. That not only provides you with a system for players to play in and know how to play and say, all right, I got to hone my skills. I got to get better at three-point shooting. I got to run around and make better curls. But then it also allows you to say, all right, when we go out next season, now we have a roadmap as to who we want, who would fit our system. I'm not going to go out there and get, a guy like, I'm just making this up, a guy like Gobert. I'm just making this crap up. When I need a guy who can, I need a Klay Thompson, just being extreme. So that allows you to build the system slowly and show that. Look at a guy like Greg Popovich. These guys, that team, you look at them is usually a bunch of no names and LaMarcus Aldridge. But every year they know how to draft, they know how to get free agents that fit their systems. There's always one dude who knows how to shoot threes off curls on the San Antonio Spurs. Every year I see a white redhead dude who can shoot threes, and he's interchangeable, but he fits their system. And I understand they may not get far in the playoffs, but they're always in the playoffs. And it's like, all right, we'll try to get better and blah, blah, blah. But the Knicks, what's the roadmap? Like Sim said, where's the foundation? What do we? If you didn't have free agents,
what's our identity? What is it?
Our identity, actually, Eddie, is to tank for Zion and get on our knees for KD and Kyrie.
There you go. You answer your own question. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
But Eddie, that's not how.
Hey, I want to.
All right,
but you guys
let Nate go. Let Nate go.
Yeah, go ahead, Nate, and then I'm gonna come back to the chat. Go ahead, Nate.
Okay, so
then I'm gonna come back to the chat.
Here's what I think the problem is of Fizdale, and it's not really his fault. It's just who he is. When you use the word player coach, that's not a good thing, because you want to be the coach, and I think Fizdale tries to be their friend, and they don't take him seriously, and that's why he's not implementing a system, because he's like, you know what, we're gonna figure it out, guys. We'll get it to work out. And the reason why I say that is because I think if we would have got Budenholzer, it would have been a whole different ballgame, because Budenholzer is like a Popovich. He's from Popovich, actually. He is a no nonsense guy. He is a structure guy. He's like, this is how we're gonna play, and this is how you're gonna implement. You're gonna go my way or the highway. Fizdale's not that. Yeah, exactly. Fizdale's not that type of guy. Fizdale is a player's type of guy who is buddy with Dwayne Wade, buddy with LeBron James. Everything you heard about Fizdale is like, he's a great guy and all this. No one says, oh, he's good at X's and O's. He's a good, strong coach. They just say, oh, he's a good guy. He's a good buddy. And that's what I fear with this team, is that the Knicks might regret this hire, because if they want that structure, I don't know if Fizdale's the guy to do it.
Okay, well, we're going to see. We're going to see. We don't know. The one thing I'll say is this. What we do not know is what the conversations were like with David Fizdale and Scott Perry and Steve Mills prior to him coming on board. I know I was big supporter of David Fizdale coming on board. And I still support David Fizdale. But I'm going to question, if I feel like I need to question some things, I'm going to question them. We don't know what the conversations were like behind closed doors and what kind of process they felt like they had in place. Maybe they just felt this year was a big, giant free-for-all, and, you know, we don't think we're going to keep many of these players. So, you know, we're just going to have a year-long tryout, which I think would have been a mistake, right? Because in my opinion, you never waste a year. There's never a year that you waste. But maybe that's their philosophy. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. We don't know. We don't know what was going on behind closed doors. Everything that we speak of is speculation until one of those guys comes out and says, this is exactly what we were trying to do. You know, so that's all we can really do is speculate. Next year is supposed to be the year, right? Next year, 2019, 2020 is supposed to be the year. That's when I guess we can really, really judge these guys and, you know, judge the coaching staff. I think that the front office has done well. We'll see if they continue to do well. That's when we're going to have to judge them. And when we get these guys, well, if we get these guys, then we'll really find out if Fizdale can coach. Right? We get Kyrie, we get KD, we get some veterans around those guys, you know, KD and Kyrie, then we'll find out. And I'm sorry for, you know, you seen the intro, the 10-second intro come up on the screen. I'll be jumping on the screen in about a second. There we go. But then we'll find out. We will find out. We get those guys, we'll find out if Fizdale is a good coach or not. You know what I'm saying? We'll find out very, very quickly if Fizdale is a good coach. All right, let's do a little bit of a game recap. Wasn't much to this game, obviously. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Ring the notification bell. Get a notification anytime that I go live, drop a video. Even if I put a comment on my comment board, you'll get a notification of it. So please subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. Share this out. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you got. All right, let's continue talking about the Knicks loss the Toronto Raptors, and it was more than a loss. It was a crushing. It was a blowout. Knicks, you know, they looked like, you know, 20-point game at half, whatever it was, close to a 20-point game, whatever it was. The Knicks gave up, I think, 73 points in the half. But by 3 minutes into the third quarter, the game was really, really done. The game was basically done from the beginning, but the game was really, really done. And it just looked like a pickup game. Guys were just running up the court, doing whatever they felt they needed to do to play the basketball game. Pretty much that's what it ended up being in that third quarter. Right? The Knicks were just, the game was just done. It was out of hand. But neither here nor there. We expected it. This is what we thought was what was going to happen. Let's go over some of the box scores. All right, we're going to go over some of the box scores. Why? Because it's ritual. Because it's what I do. Because it's the foundation. It's one of the foundations of my show. So if I don't do it, then it's not going to be the same. So here we go. The Knicks lose 128-92 to the Toronto Raptors. We the North. Not us, but Toronto. They gave it to us. End of the first quarter, the Knicks were down. The Knicks gave up 38 points in the first quarter. Gave up 35 points in the second quarter. They were down 9 at the end of the first. They were down 19 at half. They gave up another 13 points. They lost the third quarter by 13 points. The Knicks did not win a quarter in this game. They lost 128-92. A shellacking from the Toronto Raptors. And they did not have Kawhi Leonard. I can't imagine the score being much worse if they did have Kawhi Leonard, but maybe it would have. The Knicks, the Toronto Raptors' biggest lead was 38. The Knicks' biggest lead was 1. They had an early lead of 1. The Knicks shot 32.9% from the field, 22.2% from 3, 87.5% from the free throw line, from the stripe. They shot 32 times, though. The Raptors shot 22 times from the stripe. They only made 13 for 59.1%. They shot 42.5% from three. They launched up 43-pointers in the game. The Raptors also shot 55.7% from the field. All right, the Knicks lost the rebounding battle tonight. Now, they've been winning these rebounding battles. They lost it tonight, 50-36 to the Toronto Raptors. The Knicks also only had 16 assists. The Raptors had 36 assists. The Knicks with 8 steals, 4 blocks, and 13 turnovers. So on a night when you finally get that turnover number down, and maybe it's because they were playing a lot more one-on-one ball today, they only have 16 assists. So the assist-to-turnover ratio awful once again. The Raptors had 5 steals, 6 blocks, and 14 turnovers, but you really do see the strength of the Raptors in this game. They're a strong team. They play hard. They play fast. Strong team of the Toronto Raptors. Looking at the Knicks box scores, and there's not much to write home about with this one, folks. Not much at all. All right, looking at the Knicks box scores, Mario Hezonja, who had the game-saving block against LeBron James just last night, along with his 17 points last night. Tonight, had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He did start the game. Not a night to write home, for Mario Hezonja. This goes back to the conversation we were having about Mario Hezonja last night. It goes back to that conversation about him being inconsistent. His inconsistencies. Kevin Knox tonight had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 turnover. He only shot 28.6% from the field, though. DeAndre Jordan tonight, he only had points, 6 rebounds, only 19 minutes tonight. Damian Dotson, he had 11 points, no rebounds, no assists for Damian Dotson. 2 steals. Emmanuel Mudiay, after coming off of a great game last night, again, had a subpar game tonight. Another sign of, these inconsistencies. And this is what's happening with our team all season long. Emmanuel Mudiay played 21 minutes, had 7 points, no rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover. Alonzo Trier had a good night. For what it's worth, he had a good night. He had 22 points, 8 for 14 from the field, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Mitchell Robinson, no points, 5 rebounds, 3 blocks. Kadeem Allen tonight, he had no points and only 1 assist, 3 turnovers. Lance Thomas played for 13 minutes. He had 4 points, 2 rebounds. John Jenkins had 7 points. Luke Cornett had 6 points. Henry Ellenson had 9 points. Not much to write home about for the Knicks tonight. For the Toronto Raptors, you see the balanced scoring. You can see it on the screen, man. Balanced scoring by the Toronto Raptors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in double digits for the Toronto Raptors. Nice balanced scoring. They had 36 assists on the night. That's, moving the basketball. Your backup point guard. I'm sorry. Your point guard. Fred VanVleet, he had 13 points, 12 assists. Kyle Lowry going out in the third quarter as Mitchell Robinson landed on his ankle. He had 15 points, 8 assists. Marc Gasol had 12 points, 11 rebounds. Pascal Siakam had 19 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Danny Green had 13 points. He was 3 for 4 from the three-point line. He had 4 rebounds, 1 assist. You see what they did without Kawhi Leonard in the game. Jeremy Lin had 20 points. 20 points for Linsanity. 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Anunoby had 14 points. Norman Powell had 10 points. And Serge Ibaka is suspended. I think he comes back off suspension the next game. Team is stacked. Team is definitely stacked. I want to ask you guys a question. Is Toronto the team that's going to come out of the East this year? I'm not going to lie to you. I feel weird, hearing the Toronto Raptors, the Toronto Raptors in the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. Just hearing the Toronto Raptors sounds different for me because they've never been there. Will the Toronto Raptors make the NBA Finals? Are they the team coming out of the East? Or is it going to be the Milwaukee Bucks? We'll get back to talk about some Knicks, but, I just wanted to change it over just a little bit. You know what I mean? Change it over just a little bit. That's what I want to know. The Raptors coming out of the East? Will it be the Milwaukee Bucks? Will the Celtics finally get it together and come out of the East? I know how Mark feels about that one. Mark doesn't want the Celtics. Mark wants the Celtics to go out in the first round. He wants Kyrie to be disgruntled. So we know how Mark feels about that one. Right? So let me see. I want to talk to you guys. Nate. All right, I'm coming to you, Nate. Toronto, are they coming out of the East? Are the Raptors coming out of the East?
No. Toronto is probably the most talented team. But here's the thing about Toronto. They've been swept twice in the playoffs. And I know they got Kawhi. But I just don't know if they can go all the way to the finals. I'm telling you right now, and I hate to say this because I don't like the Celtics at all, but do not sleep on the Celtics. They have a hell of a coach in Brad Stevens. They have Jason Tatum. They have Al Horford. They have some good pieces around them. They might just be bad in the regular season, but this team is built for the playoffs. And they play hard in the playoffs. And a lot of teams are sleeping on them right now.
Okay.
I'm not set on the Bucks either because I think Giannis is great, but I don't think they have enough firepower outside of Middleton to contend in the finals. So I'm going to say Boston.
So you don't think the Raptors have the ingredients, even with the addition of Marc Gasol? I mean, these guys are stacked.
Man, they got a loaded team. I just don't know. I just don't know if it comes down to playing Boston, man. Boston plays dang good defense. Horford can match up against Gasol. They got guards that can match up against Lowry and Danny Green, whoever they throw out there. Kawhi might be the X factor.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay, so the Celtics and the Raptors were to play in the playoffs. Who's the best player on the floor? Is it Kawhi Leonard? It's got to be Kawhi Leonard. Is it Kawhi or Kyrie?
Yeah, it's Kawhi.
Is it Kawhi or Kyrie?
It's Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard.
It's Kawhi Leonard.
But who knows?
Okay,
who knows? Kyrie plays big in the playoffs, man. That's where he shines. So who knows?
Well,
remember he didn't play last year.
He played big next to LeBron, right? He played big when LeBron was going to be the one really taking the hit. He's going to play big, and I'm not saying he won't. Is he going to play big when it's him, when he's the one that's taking the hit? Right? We haven't seen Kyrie. This is new territory for Kyrie Irving. For all of us, listen. I know people say he's done it in the playoffs, but you got to add the caveat that he had LeBron with him, right? You got to add that caveat. In the playoffs this year, this will be new territory for Kyrie Irving. Being the leader of the team in the playoffs. That's new territory for him. And we'll see how he
But you also got to think too, Sim. You're going in with a rookie coach into uncharted territories, and you got Brad Stevens on the other side that's already been there.
That's true.
And sometimes coaching does win out when you got an experienced coaching on the other side.
It does. It definitely means something because if you have a new coach, then a new coach, they're gonna experiment some new things too, and we'll see how what their decision is making.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, don't sleep on the Celtics. I definitely think that there is a strong possibility that they could get into the finals. But Toronto is a very talented team. It should be Toronto, but like I said, Toronto did get swept 2 years in a row. And they had some pretty good talent on that team. So who knows? Maybe it's one of those things where they got to get that monkey over the back.
Right, but they got swept 2 years in a row. You're right. But the makeup of the team has changed significantly. There's no.
That is true. They have Kawhi. They have Kawhi,
Right.
so they're expected to get to the finals or at least compete.
Listen, they have Kawhi and Marc Gasol. See, last time before they had DeMar DeRozan, and maybe DeMar DeRozan. Listen, never mind that. But maybe DeMar DeRozan just didn't have what it takes to get there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I would love to see that series. I'd love to see those two go in the series because they match up pretty evenly. I think the only difference is Kawhi. I don't know if Tatum can guard Kawhi. That's the only thing I would say.
Yeah, let's see. Let me see. Who else wants to chime in here about Toronto? Go ahead, Isaiah.
I'm sorry, yo. Gilmore's crazy, man. Gilmore's crazy. Now, what are we talking about? Who's the best team in the East right now?
Well, not who's the best record-wise, but who do you think is coming out of the East?
Toronto Raptors. Okay. When it comes, because here's my thing about about the Bucks. Giannis is the best player in the East, and probably he's the best player in the NBA right now. He's the MVP. His team is not good enough to go to the finals. My opinion. To me, I think the Raptors are the complete package. They have a great starting five, a good bench. They all play defense. They all move the ball. And Kawhi is the second best player in the East. So I don't see no reason for them not to win and to make it to the finals. The Celtics have been the biggest disappointment this whole NBA season. I'll say this about the Celtics. I mean, people are saying, can they turn it on? And if they can't, the first season that they weren't the underdogs, they didn't prove nobody right, because this was supposed to be the season pretty much everybody in the offseason had them checked off as saying they're pretty much guaranteed to go to the finals and that they're the top dogs. And, when they became the top dogs, they didn't perform. And that's one thing I think I know people are going to I'm going to get flack for this, but you got to look at that with Kyrie. And sometimes you got to question, is he the best fit for our team? Because, when the season came along where this was supposed to be a season of the Celtics supposed to win like 60-something games, supposed to be number one. It was pretty much supposed to be Boston versus the Warriors. They really underachieved. There's been a lot of chemistry issues. I mean, to this day, is it Marcus that's on the Celtics? Marcus Smart. No, what's it? The Morris twins. I'm sorry, the Morris twins. I forgot which one.
Just say the Morris kid.
Yeah, the Morris kid. I mean, I think he summed up the season in the interview when he said, "We haven't had fun in a very long time."
Yeah, and
that the chemistry has been bad, and even when we win, we're not having fun. So, I just think that's a lot to do with Kyrie and his leadership. This quote unquote leadership that he's trying to establish, which he sounded like LeBron James a lot of this time this season. Like I said, I see the Raptors as the most complete team. They should have. I see them getting out of the East and making it to the finals.
Okay, all right. Let's see. I'm gonna come to Guillermo, then I'm gonna see what Mark has to say.
I somewhat agree with Isaiah, man. Like, I don't think that in the playoffs they're gonna give Giannis as many of those foul calls, just driving to the basket. Even though he's tough as hell. But I think losing Brogdon hurts. I don't know who has this noise in the background. Toronto, they have the most, I think, well-balanced team, and they're playing with a different confidence with Kawhi Leonard versus when they were playing with the other dude, the big head, DeMar DeRozan. That team was just mentally just fractured. But I'm still betting on the Celtics, man, because I'm telling you, Sim, when they play together, like, I forgot which game it was. It was the win, like, after their streak, like it was like a 5-game or whatever 4-game losing streak. They played like a pretty good team. I want to say the Rockets, but I could be wrong. And they were facilitating the ball. I'm telling you, Sim, you cannot, when those guys pass around the ball, you cannot account for just one person. Like, it is tough to defend the Celtics when the ball moves around because they have athleticism in Jaylen Brown, Marcus Morris, or Markieff, whichever one it is. He can hit shots. I don't know. He's improved his shot a lot, Sin. And obviously, Kyrie, he's a good starter and a good closer. And when he picks those roles, is a beautiful thing, man. And when Tatum makes those smart shots on a baseline, things of that nature, I'm telling you, Sim, that's a dangerous effing team. If they can play like that with other players, I remember last year, they would have beaten Cleveland if Kyrie was there because Terry Rozier is not a point guard. Terry Rozier just jacks up shots. He has no rhyme or reason. That's why, he needs to come off the bench as a sub, a scoring sub. He's basically their Trier. But I'm telling you, the Celtics, I'm betting on the Celtics. I think they're going to get their act together and wisen up for the playoffs because they're just too talented of a team to not make a deep run.
All right. Let's see what Mark is thinking about this. I mean, we already know he wants the Celtics to lose, right? Because he wants Kyrie to be disgruntled. All right, so we already know that. You know what I'm saying? Look at him smiling. We already know that. Go ahead, Mark.
Listen, do you see Toronto without Kawhi defensively? Like, do you watch the games where they don't when they don't play with Kawhi and how defensively and they beat Toronto, they beat Boston behind twice this season. They killed Boston. They suffocate Boston. And Boston need a second guy for them to be even to even take it to the next level. For me, when the playoffs come, because that other team got Kawhi, and when you watch Kawhi in the playoffs, he does nothing wrong. He does nothing wrong. That boy plays the game right. He causes havoc for the other team. From a defensive standpoint, he will take out your best player. And that's something that Kyrie has to worry about. As good as he is, I never seen him by himself. This is the year he got to prove himself.
That's the thing. I've seen
Kawhi single-handedly defensively took Golden State out their sets before he got hurt. That's how valuable Kawhi is. He disrupts a lot of what these offensive teams do in the playoffs, bro. He does nothing wrong. Like, there's nothing. When you watch that kid play, you don't even yell at the screen. He don't make dumb plays. He makes the right plays, and he's sneakily offensively dominant. He's offensively dominant, bro. Celtics is good, but Kyrie got a lot to prove.
Okay, now let me ask you this, Mark. Since we both brought up some things about Kyrie, right? Like you said, this is the first time that we're gonna see Kyrie trying to do it by himself in the playoffs, and we don't know what that's gonna be like.
No, we don't, because
we don't know what that's
another thing.
Like.
He was playing with someone that's a 1A.
Yeah, exactly. He was playing. The responsibility was on somebody else's shoulders.
When Kyrie was playing with Bron, his responsibility was just to score.
Yeah,
it was just strictly to score. That's why he wanted to remove himself from LeBron, because he wanted to play the point guard more.
Right. But
so we never saw him at the point guard.
If the Cavaliers had lost before they made it to the finals, most of the blame was going to LeBron. Now, LeBron,
of course.
If LeBron would have put it off on somebody else, I don't know, whatever. But most of that blame was going to LeBron. Now, this is Kyrie's team. This is Kyrie's responsibility. Let's say that, right? It's his responsibility.
It is because this is what he asked for.
Yeah, this is what he wanted. So now we got to see how he responds to that, and if he can actually be that guy. Now, my question to you all, and I'm gonna come to Eddie after Mark. Does Kyrie's performance in the playoffs, is it going to change the way you think about him in free agency?
Well, no, because if I have Kevin Durant, then I'm not worried about it, because you gotta have
Good point.
You gotta have a 1A and a 1B. Right. When you think I'm not mad. There's nothing. Even if Kyrie get out the first round, I will never doubt him in a playoff sense when he has someone else, another player caliber with him.
Yeah. Right.
So even if he lose, I won't question his game, because when you look at his numbers, he still elevates. His level of intensity elevates, and he becomes more of a threat in playoff settings because of the half court setting, and then he could break down and score easily. But we never saw him by himself like Stephen Curry when he did in the finals in 2015 as the main guy.
Right. Even more than just his play, though, you know, his. I doubt we're gonna see any kind of antics or behavior or things that he says or whatever it is. But you never know when the shit hits the fan, someone's character is gonna shine. It's gonna shine. You know what I'm saying? That's when you're gonna see the real them. You know, so just looking at the whole package, you know, if he shows some real bad character flaws in the midst of a heated battle, or if they lose, you know, will it make you say, I don't know if I want him? Maybe we need to go another route.
If he came here if he came to the Knicks by himself, I don't want him by himself. No. I want him with another. I want him with someone better than him. But you know what's so crazy? So supposedly Toronto went against the Celtics, right, in the semifinals. Toronto has so much ammo to throw at Kyrie to just tire him out. They could throw Siakam at him, Anunoby, and Kawhi Leonard. 3, 6, 9 physical forwards. Mm-hmm. And then the thing is now, people are praying that Tatum could be last year Tatum. He's gonna need a co-star behind him.
Yeah.
He's gonna need a co-star behind him. The playoffs is about stars, man. If you haven't watched playoffs, it's about stars, bro. It's about those guys that's gonna give you 25 plus consistently. It's about role players from time to time, but you need them big time stars.
I feel you. I'm gonna come to Eddie. Let's see what Eddie got to say. Eddie, what do you think? Does Kyrie Irving's playoff performance, does it make you change the way you think about him in regards to free agency? Will it?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because I'm thinking that Kyrie is all about next year. He's been waiting for his free agency and what he wants to do. And this year has been pretty up and down for him in Boston. So I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, right? Like, I don't know if he's going to have a great postseason, if he's going to have a bad postseason, but I wouldn't judge him on how he plays. I know he's a great player. I know he's not going to come to New York if he's coming by himself. And I just think when next year comes around, we'll see a different Kyrie. And he's having a great statistical year anyway. He's still, like, under the radar having, like, a great year. So, I mean, I wouldn't put too much stock in what's happening in the playoffs. Me, personally, I like Philly. Like, I really like Philly.
You like Philly?
I like what they did. I mean, bringing in Tobias, I think they're all in this year. I think, Ben Simmons ain't going to be around too much longer. I'm pretty sure he wants to be a Laker.
I'm pretty sure he wants to be a Laker, too. I'm positive that Ben Simmons wants to be
his girlfriends. Yeah, me too. Like, I'm almost like 99% sure that he's going to go to LA.
Yo, I said very long time ago when I first started this show, maybe, whenever it was, I don't know, that I think Ben Simmons is going to end up in LA. And I really think it's going to happen. If you ever watch, maybe it's on Showtime right now, I don't know. But there's a documentary about Ben Simmons before he was drafted. Before he went to college and all of that, right? About his journey from Australia to, going to Florida and then, going into college and everything. And draft night, he was excited about the possibilities of going to LA. And then, he was like, yo, if I get drafted by LA, I mean, he was pumped about it. And then, with Philly, he was cool. He was okay with it. I see him full on going to LA whenever he's available, whenever it's there. I don't see him staying in Philly.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I've been saying that to myself for the longest. I mean, his girlfriend's over there. Like, you can just tell. There's like certain things that you can just read between the lines, and like tell. Like the same way people are reading between the lines. Kevin Durant to New York, Kyrie to New York. Like, I think that boy is gone. Reason why I think they went so hard and got Jimmy Butler and then Tobias. Because they know their window is it's a small window, and they're going all in this year, and they'll probably go all in next year. They'll probably sign Butler, and they'll probably sign Tobias, and just see how long it lasts them. And I really like them going far in the playoffs, man. I like them over Boston. I like them over Toronto. What's that other team that Milwaukee. Milwaukee's the only one that I like second fiddle, just because Giannis is just so dominant right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's my take on that.
All right. I'm gonna get back to you guys in a minute. I'm gonna answer a couple of phone calls, and then we're gonna talk about draft prospect. And just to let you guys know, I know you guys have seen the commercial. I don't know what's going on. I know you guys seen the commercial. It's Giannis. It's Giannis, guys. It's Giannis. You guys keep saying Giannis. It's Giannis. But, I just want to make sure you guys see that commercial. Go watch the commercial. Let Giannis tell you himself. Anyway, caller, what's popping? And we get into you. Well, you're on live now. You can speak, but you got about 5 seconds, and it's coming on. It's on you, my brother. But what's popping?
Hey, I don't know why we're talking even about Philly or Boston. You just said the guy's name who's going to make the most noise in the playoffs. It's the Bucks. They're about to win 60 games plus. I mean, Giannis is a monster, and when he gets in a half-court set, he's got so many shooters around him. All he's got to do is go to the top of the key, drive to the lane. If you can't stop him, he's going to dunk on you. He's the angriest guy you ever saw on the court. I mean, Kyrie and Boston, but I don't like to sleep on teams that win 60 games. I mean, they're not Toronto. They're not Toronto. They're not going to win 60 games and lose in the first round. I mean, Giannis gave Toronto everything he could give them last year, and then they added Mirotic, Pau Gasol, and Bledsoe is playing a lot better.
Yeah.
So
I get that. I definitely get that. But I mean, like you said, you mentioned Toronto. You can also put the Atlanta Hawks in there from a few years back. There's been a lot of teams that won 60 games and flamed out in the playoffs. They're still a young
but they didn't have a superstar. I give you that. I mean, Atlanta had a good team, but they didn't have a superstar. Toronto's got a good team, and I mean, Kawhi Leonard's good. Giannis is better.
Yeah, but
I feel like play those two.
I feel like
Giannis
Toronto's
is better than Kawhi.
I feel like Toronto's team is just way more complete.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I feel like they're more complete.
If you put the two rosters up against each other, I mean, Kyle Lowry and Eric Bledsoe. Kyle Lowry is maybe a little better, but Eric Bledsoe is a lot more athletic and younger.
It's not even just about putting the players, matching the players up man for man, but the way the team and people fit together, that those type of things come out in the playoffs, right? You can have a regular season. You never know what's going to happen in a regular season. You play against a team and someone is hurt, someone is sitting out, taking days off. Some team has a bad stretch because of whatever reason. So in a regular season, it's hard to say. When you get into the playoffs, the flaws really begin to show. You know what I'm saying? And teams that are incomplete,
totally agree with you.
Yeah, teams that are incomplete, their flaws really begin to come out. Players that have flaws that maybe they will fix in the future, like Giannis, you know, he can't shoot the jumper. That could come out in the playoffs, and it could show itself. You know what I mean? I feel like Toronto is more complete, and when it comes to the playoffs, they, you know, their completeness will shine over, I think, Boston, Philly, and Milwaukee. You know, now, you know,
I don't know.
I mean, you never, listen, I don't know. I could be wrong. Giannis could just go crazy and just start. Yeah, I mean, start averaging 38 Giannis, points a game. You never know.
We've seen Giannis in the All-Star game. That guy plays angry.
Yesterday, with a chance to win, LeBron's shot was below Herzonia.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, you watch these games, the highlights, and I mean, what was the other night where he was against Philly? I mean, he dunked on Ben Simmons and stared him down. He's not playing games. I mean, Giannis is going to win an MVP without a jump shot. I mean,
basically saying because of that, this guy's not going to be around anymore. Stephen, what was your reaction to Clyde's comments?
He will.
So, I mean, you got Middleton's an all-star, and he can shoot the lights out. I mean, Mirotic, we see he's had a couple 50-point games. He's no joke. I think you get Giannis at the top of the key against anybody. And I mean, I watched that Toronto series last playoffs. I mean, if Giannis could shoot a little, like, he doesn't have to shoot.
Well,
if he shoots 10% better than he shot last year, and he goes out there and puts 35 and 15 on teams consistently in the playoffs,
mm-hmm.
I don't see anybody on Toronto who's going to put 35 and 15 on anybody.
Well, you know,
I mean, they might play as a better team, but
yeah, I mean, we'll see. You know, the thing is, it's going to be a little bit tougher for him to increase his shooting percentage in the playoffs. Hey, I'm not saying it can't happen. You know,
no, I hear you. You know, we're all just we're just chatting, you know. But I just, you know, it's like Boston's good, but I mean, Boston would have lost. You know, they should have lost that series to Philly, except for Ben Simmons just couldn't shoot at it.
Yeah,
he couldn't shoot at all, and they isolated him.
Okay.
So as long as Ben Simmons has got the ball in his hands 60%, 70, 80% of the time, I'll never give them any real credit because he can't shoot. Ben Simmons, I mean, Giannis shoots better than Ben Simmons. He can't shoot anywhere out of 10 feet. And I mean, Boston. I see Boston, and if they don't meet in the second round, I see them as the conference championship. And I'll let you guys chat. Once again, subscribe, and once again, this is the best Knicks chat on YouTube.
I appreciate it, my man. I appreciate it. Let's take it to heart. The best Knicks chat on YouTube. We with it. All right, I appreciate the call, my man. All right, let's get into it. Let's switch it up a little bit. We're gonna get back and talk about the Knicks. I got a couple super chats I want to mention, though. I want to mention them now, just in case these guys, it gets late and these guys got to get off the stream or whatever it is. Big shout out to Ian Clark. Thank you for the super chat. Mighty Knicks. He said, "What happened to all the people who wanted Dennis Smith Jr.?" We're gonna get back to really getting into the Knicks, but I just want to shout out my man Marty. And Marty, look for an email from me. Hotep Rel said, "Guys, relax. We are building something. Let's be patient." But like I said, thank you for the super chat, Hotep. We're gonna get back and talk Knicks. Right now, I want to get into prospects. Do a little bit of prospect watching. Excuse me for that. We're gonna do some prospect watching. And then we're going to get back and talk Knicks. Rui Hachimura. Let's talk about him. Kind of new to the scene, ladies and gentlemen. He's kind of new to the scene. All right. Not many, but he's moving. He's flying up the draft boards. He's flying up the draft boards right now. So what I want to do, we're going to take a second. Big shout out to NCAA March Madness for the video. All right. So that you can just learn a little bit about this kid. In case you didn't know, he plays for Gonzaga. All right, so let's take 2 minutes and learn a little bit about Rui. I'm sorry, I said Rui Hachimura, and I'm hoping I'm saying his name correctly. All right, so let's get with it right now.
I have traveled over 5,000 miles to get here. It was really fun to play in Japan. I really love the country, you know, that's my home. I think a lot of kids want to play in the US. They watching me, so I have to be their model.
The 5th Japanese-born men's player ever in Division I college basketball.
I didn't think I was good. My coach pointed me and said, I'm going to NBA. I was stupid, so, you know, I believe what he's saying. And then
Hachimura again. Hachimura hasn't missed a shot tonight.
I like the program, especially these coaches, the teammates. First time I heard about it, and I didn't know anything.
Hachimura, growing up in Japan, fell in love with the game of basketball, and it's gotten him here to the United States.
It's very hard to communicate with the people here. I only speak Japanese, and I start speaking English right now. But my teammates and coaches really helped me, you know, off the court. They're always trying to talk with me and help me.
Here's Rui Hachimura, who is an X-Factor player for Gonzaga. He has been tremendous.
I really love to be here. My teammates and coaches start trusting me to, you know, show them offense and defense, everything on the court, every position. You know, I gotta be the best player, so I like to shoot like mid-range, pushing the ball, coast to coast. I can play almost any position.
Much more important role this year, and he is some kind of player to watch.
It's crazy, actually. I didn't think about it's gonna be like this. I don't want to ruin this, you know, chance, and I really want to win the national championship. My name is Rui Hachimura. This is my journey to greatness.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. And there it is right there. You see, say it again, Rui Hachimura. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly. And I keep rocking with my intro. Anyway, he's climbing up the charts quickly. You know, there's a lot of mock drafts, a few. I don't want to say a lot, a few drafts that have this man going third right now. You know, behind Zion and RJ Barrett. I want to know what you think about him. I want to know what the guys in the video chat think about him. I don't know how much they've got a chance to see the little video right there. But right now, Rui Hachimura is averaging for Gonzaga. He is a forward, small forward, averaging 20 points, 6.6 rebounds, 1.6 assists. Shoots 60.9% from the field, 46.9% from three. It's college three. All right. He's playing for one of the top teams in the nation in Gonzaga. You know, Gonzaga is a great story. And they definitely are. You know, they I don't know if they're still considered a mid-major school, but you know, their ascent to become one of the best programs in the nation been crazy because they started off, you know, getting players whatever they could get, but with great coaching, great culture, getting players that stay until they're seniors. They were able to grow their program and build their program. Now they're able to get some of the top recruits in the nation. But anyway, what do you think about Rui Hachimura? All right. And if the Knicks do not get the number 1 draft pick, is he a guy, and somebody brought this up in the chat yesterday, if the Knicks do not get the number 1 draft pick, is he a guy that you'll consider taking at 2 or 3? That's what I want to know. All right, so I'm going to come to the video chat. I want to know what you guys think. All right. How you feel about this kid? Let's see who we got first. We got people with their hands raised. I seen Isaiah first. Isaiah, go ahead. What do you think about
I see the kid a little bit. Sim, Rui Hachimura. Actually, very great name. Very great name. I seen him at the Duke. I watched the Duke game. I watched the other couple games with him. He reminds me of Tobias Harris a little bit. His game reminds me of Tobias Harris. He's not really a defender. He's more of a scorer. So you're going to see a lot of scoring from him, not really much on the defensive side. He's a good player. He's a really good player, good scorer. I think he's a junior, I think, or something like that, maybe. A junior, sophomore.
He is a junior. He's a junior.
Yep, he's a junior. So, he has the body. He's going to be a little bit older, a little more seasoned, so he'll be a little bit more NBA. He should be more NBA ready. Mm-hmm. Like I said, he really reminds me of Tobias Harris when I watch him play a little bit. He plays like something. So, as far as drafting him, if we didn't get the number 1 pick, no, he's not even. To me, he's not close to a top 5 pick. He's more of a 7 to 10 range of a player. If I had the 2nd pick, I'm not taking him. Me personally, if I don't get Zion, I'll probably go R.J. Barrett. And even if I don't get R.J. Barrett, I'll probably go John Morant. Or if I don't get that, I'll pick the kid from Virginia, or that kid from Kid Culver. Culver, I think his name is.
So right now, and this has been updated. This was updated March 15th. The NBA Draft.net 2019 mock lottery. They have Zion Williamson going to the Knicks if the Knicks get the number 1 draft pick. You got Ja Morant going to Phoenix. They got R.J. Barrett going to Cleveland. And then they got Rui Hachimura going to Chicago.
I wouldn't take him that high for what kind of player he is. Like I said, he reminds me of Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is a very good player. Tobias is just a really great scorer, not a good defender. I don't think I would take him that high. I would like to see him actually go lower, because I think for the way he plays, I think he'd be a very good player. He come into the league, coming off the bench and learning the ropes, rather than going to like a lottery team and having to actually do more for him. Because I just think he'll get exposed a little bit more on that level. Like I said, he's a really good player. I see a lot of, like I said, I see Tobias Harris as a comp. He'll be good in the league. I believe so. He'll be good.
Okay. All right, let me get around and see what some other people think. He's climbing up the draft chart so fast. I'll tell you that. Nate?
Yeah, I want to know who had him in top 3. I mean, the highest I've seen him is top 5.
Like I said, NBA Draft.net just had him in the top 3. I seen someone else.
Oh wow.
That had him in the top 3 as well. I'm not exactly sure who it was.
Yeah, that's interesting how they would say he's higher than John Moran and R.J. Barrett, or at least John Moran. So
NBA Draft.net. Who knows? And they could be based things on fit. Who knows?
Yeah.
The way things go. But go ahead.
So my thing is, and we talk about a lot about these guys. I mean, if he was 2 inches taller, he'd probably be a top 3 pick, because of his height and the way he can shoot and rebound. But unfortunately, he kind of falls under that tweener situation where, is he a 3? Is he a 4? And we don't even know if he's even 6'8". He could actually be 6'7", when they measure at the combine, because we all know that the players lie on their height. So, they usually, the combine will tell them exactly how tall they are.
The teams lie on their height, maybe not the players.
The teams lie. I'm sorry, teams lie on height. So he could actually be 6'7". I have seen him play. He has a good shot. Mm-hmm. But like I said, is he a 3 or is he a 4? I think he's too small to be a 4. He could be a 3, but I don't know if he's that athletic. I mean, he's shown some ability.
That's the one thing that I'll say. He doesn't seem very, very athletic to me. Mm-mm. And right now, Bleacher Report, they have him at 5 to the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
But he's moving up draft boards, and if he does well in March Madness, he can move up some more. March Madness is, the tournament is going to, change a lot of people's stock results.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
and the way
drafts
and the way the NBA is going, I mean, you don't need a big man to necessarily be successful on your team. You just need a guy who's got effort and can rebound and shoot the three. And Hachimura seems to have that ability, so I can see how he could be going up the boards. And this is a very weak class for power forwards. I think this is probably the weakest class I've seen in a really long time, because outside of him, I don't even know who would be next in line behind him, after Zion and him.
All right, let's get around. Let's see what some other people got to say. I know Mark had
There's something magical about the month of March.
Yo.
What do you think about this kid?
Well, I got him around like 10 to 14. I don't got him so high. I don't got that kid so high. He looks good because one thing, Gonzaga has a team around him. They have the wings to defend. He's not a good defender. He's a good scorer. He's a good scorer. But that team is fully loaded with good players. They're a good team, and they can end up taking it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what he reminds me of, and not that he's the same type of player. I'm not saying he reminds me of him, basketball wise.
He reminds me of Vucevic from Orlando, a good scoring power forward, talented offensively. That's what he kind of remind me of. Like that could be his peak. A talented, offensively powered forward that can't play a lick of defense. He's all right, but I wouldn't take him that high. No way.
He reminds me, and like I said, I'm not talking about as far as play wise. I'm just talking about the way things will happen in the draft and the way that everything is set up for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was high on Mikal Bridges, right? He plays defense. He could shoot the basketball. He was playing for Villanova, the top player on the team, blah, 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 and so on, right? He reminds me, and then he got to, when he got traded to Phoenix, and, he hasn't done much. He
personally, when he got drafted at, it was perfect in that draft. And if he played for Philly, I think he would have been better player than Phoenix.
Maybe. But the way things are going with him, and if he gets into March Madness and he starts doing well, right? His stock will continue to rise, and he may get drafted a little bit higher, and then we may maybe, I'm not saying maybe, we'll see the same type of thing, the way that it's happened with Mikal. And the reason why I say that, he's a good player, talented guy, but I don't see the athleticism. And I didn't see that with Mikal Bridges. I seen that Bridges was just basically going to be a 3-and-D guy.
Kind of like a window starter.
And that's fine, because that's what he played like. Because he didn't have the offensive repertoire to be any better than what he was in college.
Yeah.
Where he went was perfect because he's a smart defender. And he hits threes. So where he went for that at 6'9" at that side, it was perfect. I just think him being on Phoenix, playing behind Josh Jackson and now Oubre, he's really not gonna get the play. So it's more of a situational. He's a situational player.
Yeah. All right. Let's Eddie, did you want to jump in here?
I was just saying in the chat that I really haven't seen this guy play. And I'm a person that likes looking at the draft. Isaiah told me that he was like a Tobias. I took a quick peek at him. The eye test, he looked okay, but just listening to you now, comparing him to Mikal Bridges, I think that's probably on point.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a guy that's gonna be a top 5 player or even a top 3, like you were mentioning before. And yeah, man, Gonzaga doesn't produce. I mean, players from Gonzaga, Adam Morrison, Austin Day. I mean, they don't produce. They don't produce players,
right?
NBA players. So
yeah, they don't.
Just going off that. I mean, that's probably the reason why I haven't even checked the guy out.
Right. They don't produce NBA players because everything with Gonzaga is about. You notice all their players stay to their juniors or seniors, right? It's not about the super uber talented guy. You know, it's about pulling in these guys that's going to be there for 3-4 years, and they're going to have a bunch of these guys that are really good, that develop as they grow. I mean, basically the old school style of college basketball is what Gonzaga has right now. Right?
That's why he looks good.
You know, all these other teams have, you know, one and done guys and all this kind of stuff, which is okay. That's the way the system is right now. But Gonzaga kind of has that old school style. You're not going to get your one and dones go to Gonzaga. You're going to get the guys that's going to stay there till they're juniors and seniors. But then by the time they're juniors and seniors, they're good and they can compete with these one and done guys. You know what I mean? And which is what makes Gonzaga good. You know, but yeah, and that's part of the reason why they probably don't produce the best NBA players, because in the NBA, you gotta have uber talent as well. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that super duper talent to make it as a star, at least. You know what I mean? If you don't have that uber talent, then you're probably gonna be a bench guy. You know, you get a couple of exceptions. You know, but let's just say the Knicks did draft him, which I don't think.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yo, Sin, don't put that type of bad look.
I'm gonna put it up there.
Please.
Look, I'm gonna put it up there just cause, man. Let's just say that it happens for whatever reason. We don't know. Okay, let's say this. We're gonna make it feel better for Mark. I'm gonna make Mark feel better.
Only if we have.
I'm gonna
defensive plays around him.
I'm gonna make you feel better, Mark. I'm gonna make you feel better. We're gonna do it two ways, right? We're gonna say that the Knicks just draft him. The Knicks fall to 4 and they draft him. They decided to draft him. We're gonna say that. Then we'll say this. Let's say that the Knicks get the #1 draft pick and they trade it. And when they trade it, they actually trade down. They actually pick up another draft pick that's like 10 or 11, and they get this kid.
Yeah.
All right, let's just assume something wild like that happens, just so that Mark don't feel bad. I don't want Mark to go crazy. All right. So we're gonna take a look at this first. So you know, if you guys can see the screen, you'll see we got the Nothing But Knicks court on the screen, and right off Jump Street, we're assuming that the Knicks fall to 4 and they decide that this is who they're going to get. If they fall to 4, I doubt that they're going to take this guy.
You get fired. You will get fired.
You know, we're just looking right now to see how he would fit in with the New York Knicks. Right? So you got Rui on the court right now. And I plugged him in at the 3 spot. All right, that's why I got him plugged in. I got him plugged in at the 3 spot.
Yeah, I think he will play more 3 in the league.
Yeah, definitely.
He play more 3.
Yeah, he played 3. Maybe when he got later in his career, because he's not super athletic. When he got later in the career, he would play, you know, a 4 or something like that. But yeah, we'll put him at the 3 spot in the league. Your point guard, you got Dennis Smith Jr.
Oh God.
Right. Look, Mark is about to have a heart attack already. He's having a heart attack, folks. All right. Now, after the 4 spot, after the point guard spot, the shooting guard spot, you got Damian Dotson. Now we got to figure out. Okay, so now we're going super young, right? We uber young, super young. So now if we got super young, you got Kevin Knox at the 4. Then you got Mitchell Robinson at the 5. Because if you're going to go young, you might as well go young. Your entire 5 be a young squad, right? So you got Dennis Smith Jr., Damian Dotson, Hachimura, Kevin Knox, and Mitchell Robinson. Probably in the lottery once again. If we're taking that squad to battle, then we're probably in the lottery once again.
Yeah, we're gonna be tanking, and if we're gonna tank, we're gonna tank hard again.
Yeah,
I'm telling you that.
You probably be tanking pretty hard, right? And then you figure. If you got that squad, off the bench, you got Moutier. Oh, I'm sorry. Moutier's not going to be on this team.
Thank you, because you're really about to send me into a coma.
Moutier's not going to be on the team. You got Frank, right? Move Frank over here to the bench. You got Trier. Trier's on the bench. Let me see who else we got here. At this point, we wouldn't know who we actually have on the team, right?
Yeah, that's another thing. We don't even know.
Maybe,
and
you know, possibly Luke. Maybe Kadeem Allen. You know, we'd have to see how really have to see how this roster was filled out. Because even if the Knicks do, if they strike out in free agency, they're gonna sign some people. They're gonna sign some vets or whatever it would be, you know, to fill in the gaps. Doesn't mean that they'll be good. You know, maybe we'll have Henry. Right? Maybe you'll have Henry Ellenson. I mean, geez, this lineup right here would be this squad would be bad.
Yo, look at the defense, bro.
This squad would be bad.
Christ.
Oh my goodness. We gotta get this. Let's get it off the screen, cuz we gotta get it off the screen.
It's to a point. It's to a point. I would take Bo, even though injured. I would take Bobo before.
I would take Bobo too.
I would take Bobo has tremendous talent, and he moves like a he moves like a guard big man, bro. He's injured, but I would take.
I think he got injured, and then he just said, you know what, I'm just gonna what people wanted Zion to do, not play.
He's gonna get drafted. He's going to get drafted.
Okay.
He could shoot threes.
Boston would probably draft that dude at like 10, man. Fuck.
Oh, watch your language. Watch the language, man. Watch the language. Watch the language.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Roots kid. You know, he's one of those NBA players. He's gonna have to get seasoned in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be on people's benches, and then 1 year he's gonna have a good year. Team's gonna start looking. I don't think he's gonna be any type of impactful player. He's just gonna have. He's gonna be a good NBA role player at best.
So let's see how he fits. See how he fits to get KD, right? Let's say you get KD.
KD would trade him.
You get Kyrie, and then you got Dotson, and then you got Rui, and then of course, like I always say, DeAndre Jordan. If KD and Kyrie come, DeAndre Jordan is coming. Now you got that 5. How does that look to you? You got Kyrie at the point, Dotson at the 2, Rui at the 3, KD at the 4, and DeAndre Jordan at the 5. And then coming off the bench, let's assume we got Dennis Smith Jr. Move Dennis Smith Jr. to the bench. You got Mitchell Robinson. Move Mitchell Robinson to the bench at the 5. Right? And then we got, let me see, who else we got? We got Frank. If he's coming off the bench, maybe he's playing the 3 because you got Trier that can play the 2. And, of course, you're still going to have to add some veterans in there. What do you think about that? That's a little better.
No, that's a little better. Yes, it is. It's a little better when you add those 2 other stars. Yo, can you remove Dennis Smith? Like, get him off the screen.
Okay, you want to take Dennis Smith off the screen?
Yeah, just remove him for this purpose, please. Okay. I just can't.
Okay, so I took him off the screen. So now who's at the point guard spot? Frank, Kadeem Allen?
Yeah,
Frankie,
one of those
Frankie.
2. I'll put Frank.
Okay,
please.
Okay. So, all right, so we're gonna take and put Frank up there at the point guard spot. Trier at the 2. Right,
Knox on the bench.
So now we still got to find a 3. Oh yeah, Kevin Knox. There we go. I forgot about Kevin Knox. So we put Kevin Knox at the 3 on the bench, and then so now we need a 4, and then you got Mitchell Robinson. Okay.
We can move forward. We can move forward and win games.
Okay, so then you're saying you're gonna move Dennis Smith for something.
Yeah, I'm gonna move him for a high rotation player. Someone just does the right thing.
All right.
I can't, please. And on top of that, he thinks he's a starting point guard. So,
yo, Mark, did you see how good Porzingis look in that Dallas uniform?
Yo, bro, don't even talk about it. Please. Don't even talk about it. I'm trying to talk about him in this chat room because it's and yo, Sim, I have another theory that I have to get into where, yo, if this turns out to be something, we might have messed up, but continue.
All right. Well, yeah. Go ahead, Nate. We'll get into that. We're gonna put Mark's theory up on the board. Go ahead, Nate.
So I got 2 questions for you.
There's something magical about the month of March.
You keep saying that if we get KD and Kyrie, you want DJ instead of Mitch Robinson. Why?
Because Mitch ain't ready to play starter minutes.
Exactly. Because Mitchell Robinson, if you got KD and Kyrie, those guys want someone who's been there. Mitchell Robinson is not going to be ready. Just the level of play, he's not going to be ready for that.
He don't have the size. He needs the size.
But he can block shots, and he's athletic as hell. I mean, he'd be perfect for lobs. I mean, you don't think he would be better suited for the fast pace that they want to run?
I mean, coming off the bench, he's still going to play, right? He's still going to play, but he wouldn't be ready, in my opinion, he wouldn't be ready to be a starting center with that group.
Really? I think he
Not
is.
with that group.
Bro, he can't really set proper screens. KD and Kyrie need proper screens. He's not ready.
Second question I have. Do you think Damian Dotson has starter quality potential going forward?
If you're with guys like KD and Kyrie, yes, yes, because
that's what I was thinking too.
He's not gonna be able to do that much. Coming off of screens, penetrate to the ball, play some penetrate to the hoop, play some defense. Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah. So yeah. But I don't know. Somebody got it playing in the background. I can hear it in the background.
Yo, Eddie, turn it down, bro.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, okay. Oh, all right. I'm gonna get to Isaiah. Then we're gonna talk about Mark's theory. I want to know what Mark's theory is. But anyway, go ahead.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, that's a decent lineup when it comes down to it. Yeah, I wouldn't want. I'm with Mark. I'll trade Dennis Smith for a high role player. If it came down to that, and just go with Kyrie, Frank, and Kadeem.
And you can't have Dennis and Kyrie on the same team.
I mean, I hope we don't get that bad because I would both Rua. But again, that's like a scenario where the Knicks can't be in that position because the worst we could do is fifth, and I don't think most mocks don't have Rua that high. But again, we'll see. But on to Mark's theory.
All right, Mark. We're moving on.
All right, so you want my theory? Okay.
We're gonna move on to your theory.
Listen, I'm okay with I'm okay with the Knox pick. I'm not giving up on him. But I was watching Michael Porter Jr. the other day, right? And he's coming off a back injury, right? Bro, I feel like say if he's healthy coming into next year, I think we're going to regret not picking him up.
Who?
He's talking about Michael Porter Jr.
Well, yeah. Hold up. Wait, Sim, can I say something? Oh, am I lying?
Go ahead.
So, Sim, it's so crazy, Sim. I remember it was me, you, and Joe at the draft.
Right.
And I remember we were talking, and we all said the same thing pretty much was there must be something seriously wrong when the Clippers skipped on him twice. Like, I remember we talked about it. We said there must be something with the medicals with Michael Porter where his back is something really crazy because, I mean, Mark, I agree with you, Mark. If he does come out to be a star, I'm no. But here's my thing though, Mark. You got to be cautious about a 19-year-old with back problems.
Okay. Now think about this.
The back is hard to heal.
Okay, think about this, Isaiah. We have a point guard in Dennis Smith Jr. No one talks about this. Wait, hold on. No one talks about this. This man has no knees, bro. And the way how he plays, he can blow them out. His career can end at any moment.
I mean, we get that. We know that. I mean,
I'm just saying, if he got the treatment for his back, even though he might have a bad back, but I'm saying if he comes back healthy and he plays in that Denver's offense because he is well polished from an offensive side. All I'm saying, we really gonna regret that because if even the year Knox having, I believe Michael Porter Jr. is just still a better player. But if he comes back next year and shows any of that lottery talent, boy,
everybody's gonna regret that.
I mean, but my thing is this: he's gonna come back and show that lottery talent, in my opinion, right?
No, I'm if he shows it,
I mean,
if
when
he
he comes
shows it,
back and plays, he's gonna come back and play, and he's gonna be good. The thing is, how many games is gonna he play?
Well, we got to see. I'm saying it from all of a standpoint. If he comes back healthy, that's all I'm saying. That's all.
We don't even know what his game is like.
When he
all we
first
see
comes,
is high school games.
But listen, when he first comes back, he's gonna come back healthy, right? He'll come back. He'll come play next year, and he'll play 25. You know, he'll play the first 30 games, and everybody be like, "Oh my God, we missed it." Da, 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 da. God forbid it doesn't happen. God forbid it doesn't happen. Then he'll go out.
Hey, good for Denver. Denver needs a sidekick.
I mean,
he needs a sidekick to Jokic.
Right, but then he'll go. You know, and I hope it doesn't happen. I hope he comes back and he plays. I don't want to see anybody be hurt like that. But he'll come back. But he'll come back. He'll play 30 games. Everybody be going crazy, and then he'll go back out. Then he'll go out again.
Hold on, but people talk about medical records, right? He didn't want to show the Clippers. Y'all realize Dennis Smith Jr. didn't want to show the Knicks his records? He kept that away from us.
Yeah, I mean, but we didn't draft him. We traded for him, but we didn't draft him.
No, but
it's part of the reason.
The reason why the Knicks didn't take him because he didn't give medical records whatsoever.
Right.
And he's a bad shot.
So I'm just saying, if Michael Porter just comes back,
I think they see Michael Porter Jr.'s. They knew. I think people knew about his back. People knew about his medicals. People were just scared.
People was playing it safe. Yeah, of course you're playing it safe. But I'm just saying,
when you don't reveal something, there's something to hide.
So Mark, what's your theory?
No, my theory, I said my thing is, I just hope that Michael Porter don't come back because honestly, that would hurt.
It wasn't really a theory.
Mark,
it was just
Mark. Look at this. But Sim, nobody. But look at this though, Mark. Let's say
and wanted him. We wanted him, Paul George. That's the thing.
We did.
We wanted him.
But Mark, listen though. Mark, listen, right?
Go ahead.
So Mark, let's say we picked up Michael Porter Jr., right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Knox got picked the next pick. And he had the Rookie of the Month. Do you know the Knicks will get crucified?
No, come on.
The Knicks would have got crucified, Mark.
Who was the next pick after the Knicks?
Next pick would have been
not a Rookie of the Month, Isaiah. You stretching it, bro.
Who was it? Wasn't it Philly? Wasn't it Philly? The next pick after the Knicks.
Mark, if Kevin Knox won Rookie of the Month, you don't think the Knicks would have got crucified for picking Michael Porter Jr. over Kevin Knox?
Yo, did you see draft night? They didn't care that he had a back injury, bro. This is what I'm saying. Am I wrong?
But no, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying you know how the media works. The Knicks would have got crucified for not picking Kevin Knox if he would have won, because you know he won Rookie of the Month, and Michael Porter hasn't played. There would have been more pressure on Michael Porter to try to come back and show people.
And the only reason why I'm saying this, Isaiah, I think Michael Porter confidence is just higher than Knox. That's my only thing. That's what I'm saying.
He's in Denver. He's in Denver. They're about to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Good for Denver, man.
No, I agree with you.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying because we wanted him. And people was hoping that he fell that far. Because he literally, if he'd have played, he'd have been number one, number two.
But I agree with what you're saying, Mark. His confidence as a player is just higher than Kevin Knox's right now.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, because it's like
we don't even know what this guy's
Kevin Knox really showed us something like, okay, then
videos, and that's
forget that.
No, you know why? Who's Mark's like that? Because he saw him windmill a dunk not too long ago.
No, not even that. I saw some other stuff with him.
I need to see that because that's the only thing I saw from him.
I saw some other stuff with him, bro. He just looks
Mark,
like...
Mark, you got to take an effect. He's in Denver. He's in a winning culture. He's in a place where there's veterans. He's in a place where they have an actual coach.
Well, me,
so much.
And they have tons of players at his position. They have tons of players at his position.
Like, Mark, there's no pressure for Michael Porter Jr.
No pressure.
There's no pressure.
Well, there's no pressure for Knox either.
Yeah.
There's no pressure for him. Bro, there's no pressure.
If the Knicks would have drafted Michael Porter Jr., they would have had a lot of pressure.
Not expecting him back anytime soon.
There would have been a lot of pressure on players.
No, he would have been out. He would have been out this whole season.
Exactly. I mean, you can't when you're making the first pick in an organization that just hired you, you can't go down that route.
You're right. Jesus Christ.
It's just a lot of factors into that because again, you got Michael Porter. He's in a winning culture.
Bro, honestly, for him to go 15,
they have a lot of veterans.
For him to go 15,
to come back right now. There's no pressure for him to average 20 points.
I'm not gonna rush him back.
I understand that for him at his talent, for him to go 15 when he's projected to be number 1 or 2, I never seen this before. He went 15. 15. Nah, Giannis was not a lottery pick though. He was not a lottery pick.
Well, we know why he went 15 though. I mean, simply because of his back. We know why he went 15. Anyway.
But I'm saying, yeah, go ahead.
I guess we'll see what happens with him next year. I'm hoping that he's well, regardless
I'm just saying from a confidence standpoint. Like when I watch him, just from a confidence standpoint, I don't think like it's gonna stop him from trying to be great. Because even when he tried to come back those 3 games, he really tried to show people something with that back injury.
Yeah. I mean, regardless if the Knicks drafted him or not, I want to see the kid do well. Anyway, we're gonna move on from here. We're coming down to the end of the show. Knicks lost tonight. Tomorrow, they play Wednesday night. Who they play Wednesday night? Who the Knicks play Wednesday night? The Knicks on Wednesday night.
Let's stop this misery.
It's coming to an end. The season is coming down to an end. So, the season is coming down to an end.
I'm like exhausted.
The Knicks 14-56 on the season. The Knicks play Utah Jazz at home on Wednesday. I expect another loss. Right? I'm expecting another loss. I'm pretty sure that you're expecting another loss. Right? I don't know how much we can really say about it.
Bro, come on.
Besides the fact that the Knicks are probably gonna, another team fighting for a playoff spot. The Knicks will probably take, a pretty bad loss at home versus Utah Jazz.
What we play at Utah? They play at our house?
We play at home. We play in Madison Square Garden. Play at Madison.
Man, I tried to have confidence in them yesterday, saying that they could beat Toronto, and look what happened tonight. They got destroyed by the second unit.
I mean, listen.
But he wasn't the reason why they won.
What?
Kyle Lowry wasn't the reason why they was winning tonight.
I mean, no, he wasn't the reason why they was winning. They was just winning because they just straight up better. It didn't matter who they had in the game.
Siakam was flying in the paint on our forwards. Like, we could have got a lick.
Yeah. But, listen, the Knicks play the Utah Jazz tomorrow night. Tomorrow also marks the beginning of March Madness. All right, so that's, that's a great thing. The beginning of March Madness starts tomorrow. So we're going to get a chance to look at all of these players. I'm going to get a chance to look at all of them and watch these guys grow and become stars during March Madness. And I'm pretty sure everybody's mock drafts will change as we fly through March Madness. And then once we get through March Madness, this draft stuff is really going to pick up heavy. So, guys, be ready for it. You see on the screen, you see the brackets. You see the brackets on the screen. Get your bracket ready. That's what we want you to do. We want you to get your bracket ready. And here's how you can do it. You can join if you do. This is free. It's just for fun. All right? No money involved. All right? This is just for us to good time. But I'm going to put in the YouTube chat, in the video chat, here a link to where you can do your bracket, the NBK March Madness bracket, right? Join the crew, have a good time. Right now we got about 6 or 7 people who's made brackets. Get your bracket done before March Madness really kicks off. Get your brackets done. All right, we're gonna keep it updated, but get your brackets done. All right, back over here to the video chat because we're getting ready to log off for the night, man. We've been on for 2 hours, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna log off for the night. I'm gonna give you guys, man, like 10 seconds. Oh, actually, I need to give myself a shameless plug before I get up out of here. All right, give myself a shameless plug. And you're going to get 10 seconds before you get this shameless plug. Probably a little bit more than 10 seconds before you get this shameless plug. But you already know what the plug is going to be. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Thumbs up. Throw me that thumbs up. Leave some comments in the comment section because I want to hear from you. Leave some comments in the comment section. Go to my website, nothingbutnicks.com. And on the website, because I'm going to start doing some NBA and New York Knicks trivia. And if you have trivia questions that you would like to have asked, put in your trivia questions and we'll ask them on the show. All right. But anyway, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. Get a notification anytime that I go live and share this out. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Share it out to the crew. All right. Here we go. Folks, we're down to the end of the show. I want to get you guys, man, give me 30 seconds real quick. End this off. I want to know, what you're thinking about the Knicks, NBA draft, March Madness. Those three things. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna start off with Mark. Mark, I see you gabbing, yipping at somebody. I want you to end it off, man.
Listen, man.
Finish off tonight. 30 seconds. The Knicks, NBA draft, March Madness.
You see, I tried to be nice to my Knicks yesterday, saying that Toronto, we could have a chance of beating Toronto. I really thought they was gonna win tonight. So you know what? Guess what? I'm going back to my negative side, and Utah's gonna destroy us tomorrow, Wednesday, whatever it is. And that is my take. Oh, yo, Sim, guess what, too?
What's that?
They got Morant going number 2.
Who?
Teams have him going number 2. The mock draft, they got Morant going number 2 in the draft.
Which draft?
This year NBA draft?
I mean, there's a bunch of different mock drafts out there. You got NBADraft.net, you got CBS, Bleacher Report, NBC.
I'm talking about the most current because now people are questioning RJ Barrett playing style, what I was complaining about.
Okay.
And RJ went to number 2.
We're gonna find out when March Madness hits. That's when we're really gonna know. That's when.
And he plays tomorrow. I think Murray State play tomorrow.
Nah, they don't play tomorrow. Tomorrow are the play-in games.
Okay.
You got the play-in games tomorrow.
I gotta look at the thing again because I ain't set up my.
So tomorrow is North Carolina Central versus Fairleigh Dickinson. Oh, I'm sorry. North Carolina Central versus North Dakota State. Then you got Fairleigh Dickinson, who I'm rooting for, versus Prairie View, and I'm rooting for Fairleigh Dickinson because Darnell Edge plays for Fairleigh Dickinson, and he's one of my close friends. That's his son. He's a starting point guard for Fairleigh Dickinson.
Okay.
So, I'm definitely rooting for them to play. And if they win, they'll have to play Gonzaga. That's a tough, but I'm rooting for them. Belmont versus Temple. They play. So I'm sorry. Tomorrow, Fairleigh Dickinson plays Prairie View, 6:40 p.m. And then at 9:10, Belmont plays Temple. And then on March 20th, Arizona State plays St. John's at 9:10.
I got St. John's. St. John's winning two games.
North Carolina Central plays North Dakota State at 6:40 on March 20th. So the March 19th and 20th, that's the first 4 in Dayton, Ohio. And then after that, that's when the games will really begin. March 21st through the 22nd is the first round. So you got time to get your brackets done, folks. Get your brackets done.
A lot of people going to be losing money.
All right, so, all right, Mark.
All right, man. Good night, Sam.
Good night, man. I will catch you.
See you Wednesday with another misery stream about the Knicks.
Oh, Mark be tripping. All right, Nate, it's on you, man.
Hey, Sam, I got a question for you. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but does it seem like the Knicks always have a really tough April schedule? Like, heaven forbid if we were in a playoff run. I mean, I feel like the NBA does no justice for us in April, man. We always have a rugged April, probably because the tournaments, because they play in Madison Square Garden. We play a lot on the road. But my God, I mean, it's just brutal, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah,
I guess it's never going to change because they're always going to play the tournaments in the Garden, so we're going to have to be on the road regardless.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of tournaments going to be at the Garden, and it's not going to change until the Knicks are good. When the Knicks are good, the schedule won't be as brutal, right?
I don't know, man. Even when we were good, I feel like we always played a tough April every time.
Yeah, but
so maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just the way it is.
But we can beat teams. But when we're bad, we can't beat anybody. So it's even worse.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
We'll see you Wednesday. Hopefully, we don't lose by 36. And by the way, that was a franchise record for the worst loss.
You said that was a franchise record for the worst loss?
Yeah, so we set another record.
I didn't know that. Okay. Knicks setting records this year. Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
not
man.
in a good way.
Yeah. All right, Nate. Peace.
Have a good night, guys. Later.
Isaiah?
I was happy. I wanted Eddie to go last. You know, Eddie deserves. He's the first new guy here, so he got to go last. That's the rite of passage, man. But of course, man. There's a couple of tourney games coming in here in Hartford, Connecticut. I know they got some in Hartford. I don't know if I might go up. I might go up. I don't know yet. The Knicks. We got 11 more games, Sim. 11 more games.
11
it's
more.
Almost over.
11 more. It's almost over. Then we
May 14th, everybody. That's the day I'm looking forward to. That's gonna be the most important day in Knicks history. That tells us where we draft.
There we go. I'm gonna be on live for that night too. Well, you know what? Let me see something. May 14th is on a what? What day is that on?
I believe that's a Thursday or a Wednesday.
It's a Tuesday night.
Don't quote me.
It is a Tuesday night. I have to see what time it is. I may have to skip out on practice so I can be live that night.
I think usually don't quote me on this, Sam. I don't know, but usually I know the lottery selection happens during the playoffs.
Yeah, it usually happens around 8:30 or so.
Yep. So we'll find out. We'll probably find out where we pick by 9 o'clock.
Yeah. I will be on live that night. Somehow, some way, I'm going to be on live as we're doing the selection. So you can count on that.
For the tournament, I got to get my bracket. I don't really do it. I'm rocking with Duke because I want Zion.
Do your bracket, man. The link is in the description. Do your bracket. But hey,
I got one more bold prediction.
Long-winded. All right.
Your granddaughter's going to coach the Knicks and your grandson's going to play on the Knicks. I said it.
Okay. I'll take it.
It's going to happen.
I'll take it. We'll see.
But
that's
man,
20 years from now, but we'll see what's up.
You already know, man. They're going to do it. Y'all are looking like y'all light skin. Y'all going to be killing in the league. Y'all good.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, man. Be good, man. See you later, Eddie.
All right. Eddie?
Yeah.
Last one, bro. You the last one.
Well, just waiting for these last games to go. Hopefully, Ntilikina get on the court. You can see him play a little bit. See him play with these guys. I don't think Dennis Smith Jr. is coming back. That's it basically for the Knicks, man. We're just grasping at straws right now.
Yeah.
When it comes to the draft, we just gotta wait, man. I know we're gonna get a good player, so we're just gonna have to wait, and we'll see where we're gonna plug them in. And I'm waiting for March Madness, man. I want to see Zion. I want to see Barrett. I want to see Morant. I haven't seen him play.
Okay.
And yeah, man, that's basically it, bro.
All right, man. Have a good one. I appreciate you joining the chat. First time, hopefully.
No problem, man. Yeah, man.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.
All right, Knicks fans, and we count down to the end of the show. You know what I mean? 10 seconds till the show was literally over. Here we go. All right, the show is done. Have a good night. Make sure you get your brackets in. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys Wednesday night. I might see you guys tomorrow night. It depends. We'll see what's up. There's a couple of games on tomorrow night. I may jump on, but I'm really looking forward to March Madness. I hope you guys are looking forward to March Madness. We'll definitely get to see some Knicks prospects out there. But take it easy, man. Have a great week. I'll catch you guys Wednesday night. Give it there.